Today we'll be talking about inside the CIPP US exam and what to expect. So, you're thinking about the CIPP US exam, and you probably have some questions. What's on the test? How hard is it really? And how do you make sure you're ready? Those are exactly the right questions to be asking, because when you understand how the exam works, you can prepare the smart way without overwhelm or second guessing. Let's break it down together. The CIPP US exam is structured around 5 core domains, each one representing a critical pillar of US privacy law and practice. First, you'll dive into the US legal system and the broader privacy environment, how laws are created, enforced, and interpreted across federal and state laws. Next, you'll explore limits on how private sector organizations can collect and use personal data. This includes key laws like HIPAA for health information, the GLBA for financial data, FERPA for education, and COPPA for children's data, and FCRA for credit reporting. Then you'll look at how the government accesses information, when it can surveil, request, or subpoena personal data, and what limits are in place to protect individuals. The fourth domain focuses on workplace privacy, things like background checks, employee monitoring, and how HR handles sensitive information. And finally, you'll study state privacy laws. This covers landmark legislation like California's CCPA and CPRA, as well as the emerging patchwork of state-level privacy frameworks across the United States. By the time you've studied these 5 areas, you'll have a well-rounded understanding of how US privacy laws operate and how they show up in real business and legal scenarios. Now let's talk logistics. The exam has 90 questions. You'll have 150 minutes to complete it. That's 2.5 hours. And you can take it either in person at a testing center or online with remote proctoring. The questions are a mix. Some are direct, like identifying which law applies in a certain case. Others are scenario-based, where you'll have to analyze a situation and choose the best course of action. It's important to know this is not an open book exam. You'll need to truly understand the material, not just recognize buzzwords. Memorization alone won't cut it. What you really need is a strong grasp of how to apply what you've learned in practical, often nuanced situations. Let's be real, the CIPP US exam is challenging, and that's part of what makes it valuable. It has a reputation because it means something. Most estimates put the pass rate around 60 to 70%, though the IAPP doesn't officially publish numbers. The exam is tough because it tests both legal knowledge and your ability to think through privacy problems in context. Some of the questions are long. Some are worded in ways that can trip you up, and sometimes the laws overlap just enough to make things confusing. But here's the thing. Thousands of people pass this exam every year, and many of them don't come from a legal or technical background. What they have in common is they are prepared intentionally. You can absolutely do this. The best way to prepare is with a structured learning path that walks you through each domain piece by piece. You don't want to memorize definitions. You want to learn how these laws work in real organizations, how they interact, and what to do when they conflict. Practice questions are your best friend. They train your brain to think like the exam. Start with simple ones, then move to realistic scenario-based questions that mimic the tone and style of the test. And don't underestimate the power of consistency. A little study every day over 3 to 6 weeks will do far more for you than cramming the weekend before the exam. And here's the best part, you don't have to figure this all out by yourself. We've helped many professionals prepare for this exam through our CIPP US Mastery course. It's built to give you not just the knowledge, but the structure, support, and strategy to get it done, with less stress and better results. From breaking down complex laws in plain English, to teaching you how to handle the trickiest scenario questions, we've got your back. If you're thinking, okay, I want to do this, but I want to do it right, then the next video is for you. I'll walk you through what's inside our CIPP US Mastery course, how it's structured, what makes it effective, and why so many learners choose it to launch their privacy careers. You've come this far, let's finish strong.